Hello, everyone. My name is Kia Stokes. Like Mr. Robert said, I am the marketing manager for Stingray branding in Charleston, South Carolina. And today I will be presenting on how to make TikTok videos for your business. All right, so the first thing you must do as a business owner or a self-proclaimed business owner, identify your niche. And this means identify the product or service you specialize in. So a couple examples that would consist of, if you're a college student, a lot of college students like to talk about their college lifestyle, interior designer, your niche would probably be more of a style. And apparently currently is influencer, and I typically talk about my personal brand. And for me, it's because I don't really have a quote unquote, just one thing I focus on. I typically just talk about whatever comes to mind. So mine is more of a personal brand, whereas a real estate agent, theirs would be more selling homes, or a choreographer would be dancing. Capturing content. Be sure to record everything either in the app or upload it from your camera roll. So in TikTok, you're gonna have, I'll show in the next couple of slides, you have the option to actually record in the actual app, or you can record from a different app or your actual camera roll and then upload it. Some people find it easier to upload it from their camera roll. I think I do a lot of my posting from my actual camera roll, just because in the moment I'm recording in that moment and then I just save it for later. Versus when you're recording in the app, you have to, go back in, draft it, save it. So it's a lot more steps. So I typically find it easier to record in my camera roll or through an external app and then upload it to TikTok. From that, you always be sure to repurpose already used content. Don't think, oh, I've already posted this doesn't work, or they've already seen this. First of all, your video gets seen by tons of different people every day. So 9 times out of 10, the person that you think saw this video already hasn't even saw it. So don't be afraid to repurpose your content or bring up things that you've done in the past. Because you're relatable in so many different ways. Your business can be relatable in so many different ways. When you first started versus where you are now, those are some of the biggest TikToks, before and afters. People want to see where you came from, how did you get there? So that's one of the ways of repurposing content. Even if you've already used it, be sure to try using it again. You can use content in different ways. And then lastly, utilize your niche to decide what you should record, which was said like in the previous slide. Your niche helps decide what you should be talking about in your videos. So, you have to decide, what do you want to talk about and what do you want to focus on? Some people have a more direct focus, and then there's people like me who typically they're kind of all over the place with theirs. But I also run my jobs TikToks as well. So that one's more marketing proclaimed versus my personal TikTok is more all over the place. So, decide what your niche is and go from there. All right, so now we're getting into personalizing your TikTok. So once you open up the TikTok app and you've actually recorded, so if you look on the left, you'll see while recording. So if you look on the first circle, there's a 1x speed. So this is where the speed of the video. This helps set the tone for the video, how fast you want the video to go, if you want to speed it up, slow it down. The next button is Enhance. So that's an auto built-in filter for your video. So if you want your video to be more clean cut, clear, I would definitely recommend using the Enhance button. Some people like to get on TikTok and be their authentic self, so they don't use the Enhance button. I typically don't use the Enhance button because I feel like being myself is the best way to go. But depending on what you're presenting, you may want to clean up the video a little bit, change up the lighting, so that Enhance button is very useful. And then the next one is the timer. So when you're making certain videos, a lot of dancers use the timer to kind of set their speed of how long they want to actually present their video, or how long part of the song they actually want to dance to. So that's the timer button. And then in the middle, if you notice, there's a big old red circle. That's the speed of the video. So you can either go slower, or you can go faster, or you can go the normal speed, which is the 1x. It just depends on what kind of video you're recording. What are you doing? I know a lot of transitions, they will speed it up depending on what they're talking about for your transitions, or you can slow it down. And then effects are in the bottom corner. So these are inactive effects. So these are when, you know, you can like change your face or make two people in the video instead of like, it can just be one person, but it looks like there's 2 or 3 people in the video. So those are interactive effects in the bottom left corner. And then adding in these transitions, stickers, text, and more can be a part of the attention grabbing moment that you may need for your video. Sometimes it's not always about what you're talking about. Sometimes it's about how you actually made the video. People are always surprised. Like sometimes you can have like 5 different pictures, but it's the way the pictures transition in and out can be that one thing that makes people actually want to keep watching your video. Now, after recording, if you look to the right side of the screen, you'll see the first circle is a music icon. That's the music library, which I'll go into a little bit more details in a second. But that right there is a part of personalizing your TikTok where you can add sounds to your video. So typically in the music library, there's music, there's just random sounds, there's soothing sounds, there's calming sounds. So it just depends on how you want your video to be set up. And then in the right-hand corner, you'll see text. You can add text to your video, stickers, like on most social media apps and platforms, there's stickers from Monday, there's a sticker for a sad face, there's a sticker of a dog. You can utilize these stickers to help create engagement in your videos. And then there's another effects button. This button is basically for transitions. So this one, in this circle in the effects button, there is effects about slowing down your video, how it transitions in and out. I know there's a transition of like smog, so it looks like it's smog in the background. There's a transition that looks like it's turning on a TV or you're turning off a TV. So you know, you have to get into the app and play with these things, and don't be afraid to play with them. No one sees these videos unless you publish them, so you can always just draft them, save them, but you have to get in and mess around with these different buttons to actually just see what they can do for you. And then the next one is filters. So just like the enhance button that was on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, there's filters, and this is after you record the video. So you could have potentially enhanced your video in the background while recording, but after recording, you can actually add filters that change the color of the video. It can make you look brighter, it can make you look duller, it can be black or white, it can be monochromatic, however you want your quality of your picture to look or your video. You can use the filters to change that. And then lastly, adjust your clip. So adjusting your clip can be, I typically use this when I upload videos from out of my camera roll. So sometimes you may have a video where you can see where you started recording and you don't really like the beginning. You can use the adjust clip button to crop the videos to only have in the scenes or certain parts of the videos that you actually want in your TikTok video. So next thing we're going to talk about is hashtags. So hashtags are written with the number symbol and are keywords that characterize content. So these are like small catchphrases or small words that are attention grabbers, but they also explain what the video is about or what audience you're trying to appeal to. And the top 3 hashtags for TikTok in 2022 were trending, hashtag FYP. FYP actually stands for your page. So these are people that are following you, and these are people who are interested in exactly what you're doing, and you come up on their newsfeed all the time. This is typically how a lot of people go viral, because when they use the FYP, this pushes it to people's FYP page. So that's FYP is really big, and then hashtag viral. So using these 3 hashtags are very helpful, but I also tend to use hashtags that pertain to the video. So if it's a workout video, I'll put like hashtag workout. And when you're searching hashtags in TikTok, they'll give you tons of hashtags that are actually trending, or they'll actually give you recommendations for your video of what hashtag you should be using based off the content in your video. How to utilize sound. TikTok provides a sound library to allow you to pick sounds and songs. You can make adjustments to the volume of the music and or the original audio. So if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the top part is a screenshot of what it looks like when you want to add sound to your video. So if you click the add sound button, typically once you click that, bottom part of the screen is what you'll get. This is a copy of what your music library will look like. So first, you'll see all the songs that are listed are recommendations. Recommendations are typically based off how long your video is. So if your video is at least 30 seconds, you'll typically have recommendations that are 30-second long songs or 30-second long sounds, depending on different recommendations that they have. If you look next to the word recommended, you'll see favorites that's circled. So when you're on TikTok, there's a lot of trending sounds that come up a lot. Most people favorite them. So if you favorite a sound and you know one day, maybe just one day, you magically want to use that sound again, it'll be in your favorites folder. So if you click the favorites folder, any sound that you've ever favorited will be in that folder. And if you look a little bit over to the search bar, this is where you can search sounds. So if you automatically know there's a song that you actually want to use for this video, you can search it there. And then I also recommend if you made a reel on Instagram and it has a sound, I would mute your original audio, which I'll talk about in a minute, but the smartest thing to do is mute your original audio and search the same exact sound in your TikTok, because that video has a different weight. It weighs different on Instagram versus on TikTok. So make sure you're looking up the sound. Yeah, you may have the sound playing in the background already, but when it's transforming from a different platform, they have a different following. So make sure you're searching your sound when you're changing your videos from one platform to another. And then if you look, there's scissors. There's a scissors. The scissors are to crop the sound. If you just want to use a specific part of the song, you can do that. Or you can also favorite, and this is the little arrow piece there, that's where you favorite the sound, and then will be in your favorites. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, original sound. So original sound is the audio that's being played in the video. So if you're talking or if you're just recording something, that's what the original sound will be. So you can leave it on there depending on what type of video you want, or you can uncheck it. Unchecking it makes your video now muted. And then if you look to the right, there's volume. So volume, once you click the volume button, there's two different types of volume. There's original sound volume, and then there's added sound volume. The added sound is the music that you have in the background. So you can adjust it for it to be really, really loud or really, really low. If I'm talking in a video, I will put a sound in the background, but I'll turn it down just a bit, just so you can hear it, but it doesn't overpower what I'm saying. And a lot of people also use trending sounds to help push their videos, even if the sound has nothing to do with what they're doing. But the trending sound will push it onto the TikTok algorithm. All right. Next thing, adding effects. Adding in transitions and stickers and text, like I said before, can be the attention grabbing moment that you may also need. So here you'll see, if you look to the left-hand side, you'll see a screenshot of a TikTok that was made in regard to our Stingray branding's removed locations. So I added the text in the middle of the screen as an attention grabber. It kind of tells your followers exactly what this video is about. So, you know, they don't have to assume like, oh, this is a boring video, this is gonna be boring. Like, it's kind of like an attention grabber, like, okay, come to work with me as a marketing manager. So you kind of see what I did that day. So it's an attention grabber. And then if you look at the circle with the heart, that tells you how many likes you actually had on the video. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see any comments that were made, likes. These actually move throughout the video. So as the video is playing, you'll see how many likes you got, and it keeps continuously going. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a playing symbol with a number. So typically that's how many times someone has actually played your video. And then the arrow is how many times it was shared externally. And then if you click more data, it'll go into analytics. So depending on how you have your TikTok set up, kind of generates your data. So after you reach a certain amount of followers or likes, TikTok will reach out to you and you get to go into creator mode. So in creator mode, I have access to my analytics, and it tells me how many times I post on a regular, how many times I should be posting, what times I should be posting, when are my followers active, when's the algorithm moving, and what sounds are typically trending. But the catch to getting to that point is actually being very active on TikTok. So we're gonna get into that a little bit. but you have to be very active in order to have those kind of features. You have to be posting consistently, and then TikTok will recognize, okay, this person is actually using the app to their fullest and to their advantage. So then they'll start giving you things and tools that you'll need to eventually make your TikTok go viral, or, you know, find your crowd of people that you're trying to get, your audience. All right, so posting. This is how you post a TikTok. Posting a TikTok, there's a couple steps you should follow to help make this a little bit successful for you. First, you should come up with a catchy caption. So depending on what your video is about, for me, I found that the caption is typically the hardest part, because you now have to simplify what this video is about, but you also have to have something that makes someone actually want to watch the video. So this caption is "Kia's amazing," because I am. Anyways, so that basically tells you exactly what this video would be about, and then it gets straight to the point. And then you can use hashtags, and you enter your hashtags in this section as well. So this also, like I said, it makes what's relevant to your video. So a lot of times I'll use hashtag FYP just because I already know that one's always constantly on the algorithm, but then I also hashtag it based off of what the video is about. So like I said before, if it's a workout video, you do hashtag workout, or, you know, if it's a day in the life, you can do hashtag day in the life. But once you click this hashtag button, they will give you recommendations on what hashtags you should be using, or hashtags that you've used in the past. So like FYP is on the top of my hashtag list because I use it on any of our clients' TikToks, my personal TikTok, my jobs TikTok. It's already there because that's one that I constantly use. And the more consistent you are with your hashtags, the more it's going to be pushed onto the algorithm. And then you can also add your friends. So depending on if whoever you're talking about in the video, if they have a TikTok account, you can actually mention them in that captions section as well. And if you look over, you can select a cover. So this selecting a cover takes a photo of part of the video, and you can decide where you want the cover of your TikTok to be. So a lot of people kind of find the cutest part of the video and they'll use that as a cover. Me personally, on my personal TikToks, I do not, just because I want to be as authentic as possible. So if it's like a crazy looking picture of me, it's because that's the beginning of the video. So like, I just use it. Versus if it's like, you know, your business and you want the item that you're speaking about in that video, you can use that as your cover photo. So they can see the product, they can see what you're talking about, or what service you're doing in that video. So it just depends on what you're using your videos for and what type of niche you're using. It kind of helps with the selecting of your cover. And then in the middle, you're going to edit your settings. So editing your settings is very important because this helps also pushing the algorithm for your video. So you can decide who's actually watching your video. You can make your videos private or you can make them public. All my videos are always on everyone. So anyone who uses TikTok can see my videos. I always allow comments, duets, and stitches. So duets is when someone can finish what you started, so they can actually add onto your video. And a stitch is when they reply to your video. This allows your followers and people on TikTok to engage with your content and push it further out, because once TikTok realizes you are engaged with your followers and you're actually using the app like you're supposed to, they'll push your video out to more people because they realize you have people that actually want to listen to you and they're willing to interact with you. So if you're interacting with your followers, it helps. So that's with editing your settings. And then the last part of editing your settings is more options. On the more options piece is more of the quality of the video, if you want to save the video as soon as you upload it or not. So it's just little small things, but make sure you're turning on if you want comments. I typically leave all my comments on because I typically ask a lot of questions in my personal TikToks. And I just think it helps with engagement. Like you want to have a conversation with someone. That's the whole point of the video, is like being relatable to people. And then next, you're gonna, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see automatically share too. So TikTok can be integrated into all of your other socials. So for our clients, their TikToks are integrated to their socials, versus my personal TikTok isn't integrated to my socials. I upload them as I see fit. Versus our clients, we kind of stay consistent and we post them on their TikTok, and then it automatically goes to their Instagram or their Snapchat, or so see fit, however you see fit, if you want them to go that way. Instagram, it's considered a reel. So it's sort of like a TikTok, it's just named differently. So you can upload it there as well, and you can automatically do that. So it helps save time. And as a business owner, I know, you're pushing for time. So it's just easier to upload it directly to all your platforms. Just use this area. And then the last thing you can also decide is to actually post a video, which is honestly one of the hardest things to do. And it's so crazy because for a long time, I had a lot of drafts saved. I would record videos and I would not post them because I was just afraid. And then I realized, like, you have a story that someone may want to hear, and you never know, your story can help someone else. So that's when I started posting a lot more than what I started with. And you can also draft work all the time. So like you could start something and not finish it right away. So that would be in your drafts. And you can always go back and edit them as well. All right, so coming up with content would also be with the content schedule. So this helps you to get to the posting part. So, it's one thing to post on TikTok randomly, but depending on, what your business is about, having a content schedule helps. And this helps by creating content and making sure your content is consistent. And this also allows you to know in advance what content you're going to need. And it also helps, like I said, be consistent. Without a content schedule, you will never post all the time. You'll probably post once a month, and then you drop off the algorithm. The fastest way to get more exposure to your video is to constantly post. I can't say that enough. And I'm saying this to myself as well, because I know I don't post as well as many times as I can or should. But the easiest way to get more exposure to your videos and what the message that you're putting out is constantly posting. And with that is a content schedule. And this is even with just regular social media posts. When you build out a content schedule, it creates a consistency. So I have a friend who's a really big influencer, and the way she does it is she has a planner and she starts a week in advance what she's going to do. And that helps with figuring out what outfits you want to use, what locations you can use in the background, or what lighting you should have, or what you're going to actually do in that video. So you're a little bit more organized, and it also makes sure you have content. So typically my content schedule isn't the normal one, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I typically make sure I post Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, just because I know, okay, I have a little bit more wiggle room. And then you have to come up with ideas. So this also helps with brainstorming, like, all right, what I want to do today. So day in the life of a 25-year-old marketing manager. That's one that I do all the time, just because it's easier. I already know it's like people want to see what you do. Now in the world that we live in, everyone wants to know, what are you doing as a marketing manager? What does your role consist of? So typically that one's a really big one for me. And then DIYs, do it yourselves, are really big. I have an interior design client who we use DIYs with to show off little things that you can do yourself. And then for my fashionistas and fashionisters, what I wear as a marketing manager. So, a lot of places, people come up in their minds what a person would wear to work, and you'll be shocked. Like sometimes jogging pants. So it's just kind of cool to have an insight of what someone actually wears to work, or, how they style their outfits and so forth. So what I wear as a marketing manager is another idea, because, we make up our own perceptions of what someone looks like at work. And reality is, like, times have changed, and sometimes you may be in jogging pants, and it's just kind of cool to see a marketing manager, in such laid back. You'll be surprised, and, kind of change the narrative a little bit. All right, so tips and tricks. So here I came up with a couple of little tips and tricks that I actually know from TikTok and from using the platform a little bit. So ask your followers questions. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. It creates engagement for your video, and it gets the conversation going. And it also shows being a little bit more authentic and having that conversation with your followers and being more relatable. Using trending effects. So right now one of the trending effects is looking like a rat, which is so funny because you don't think about, like, why is this useful? But then you realize people, you never know. So using trending effects is helpful. Adding trending sounds. I've found that some people will actually turn down the sound in their background if the sound is trending and just turn it like very, very low. And it gets it on the algorithm because they have the trending sound in their video. And then you probably won't even hear it, but that's a little tip. And then respond to all comments, questions, and stitches. So when someone's interacting with your video, be sure to comment back. That's kind of the whole point of having followers, is they want to believe that you actually care and you're actually, you're engaging with them. So that helps create engagement. And then using the green screen effect when showing something off. The green screen effect is basically, you can have something in the background, but you're actually in front of the video presenting. Then make sure you change up your location. Don't always use the same background, be open, take your followers with you. Typically when I'm recording for my personal TikTok, I like to record where I'm doing that day, because it switches it up. It gives them a different outlook on what you do in the day-to-day life of, a marketing manager, or what your business is for. So, it changes up the scenery. And then remember, lighting is important. Regardless of what, sometimes it can be too bright, it can be too dark. So just make sure you play with your camera settings before you record. Sometimes once you do it one time, it sets, but make sure you think about that before you actually just record a TikTok, because people don't realize it may look great until you actually upload it. And then it's like, oh, it's too dark, I can't see you. Or, so make sure you edit your lighting, or add lighting, or take away lighting if you see fit. Use the hashtag FYP for You page. That's a really big hashtag. I use it all the time, and it helps push your videos onto the TikTok algorithm. And then lastly, one of my favorite tips on TikTok is to auto sync when uploading external content. So when you upload a video from your camera roll, or a photo from your camera roll, if you click auto sync and you've already added a sound, it will match the video or the photo to the sound, to the beat. Like, it won't transition into the beat drops, or it'll sync the video to the actual moment of the beat changes. So it's really cool, and it makes your video really personal. So I think everyone should try it at least once in your videos, and it makes it cleaner for the transition. All right, so my last tip would be to be your authentic self. Be yourself, and be the best that you can be when you're recording your TikToks. People want to see what you're actually doing and how you do it. So, just be yourself, and then show off your products the best way you know how. And then if FAQs, we have any questions, feel free to send those over in the chat.
We do. The first question comes from Heidi. Is there an enhancement or an effect that would best be suited for videos with food products like cakes?
So in the effects feature, you can go in and so one of the biggest ones is like zoom. There's like a zoom feature where you can zoom in and out of the actual item that you're showing in the video. I think that one's pretty helpful because it changes the focus to only notice the food item that you're talking about. So I think the zooming in method on TikTok is very beneficial, and it's an effect, and I would definitely try it out because it kind of changes the focus of what you're talking about. It narrows down exactly to the food item or show off the cake, and not the background, or they don't see what's going on in the background, or your nice tablecloth or something like that. So I would definitely say using the zoom effect works.
Our second question comes from Latarsha. Is there a recommended amount of hashtags?
So I actually just took a TikTok training course with TikTok. And it was crazy because before this, I thought the more hashtags, the better. And I actually learned that there is not a recommended number of hashtags that you use, but it is smarter to use hashtags that are directed directly to your video. So in the past, when TikTok first came out, a lot of people were just adding in all trending hashtags. Like, your video could be about dancing, but they would add in like, oh, truckers of the USA is trending. So they would put that hashtag. And what we found is that that doesn't push your video. If it needs to have some kind of correlation. So you don't have to have a ton of hashtags. I typically use at least 5. And 2 of them being ones that are universal. So the FYP one and trending is typically the 2 that I always use. And then the other 3 are TikTok hashtags pertaining to the actual TikTok that I'm making.
Okay, thank you. Our next 2 questions relate to sound. First one is from Layla. How do you favorite a sound?
So if you open, when you're on TikTok, let's turn it down. So when you open TikTok and there's a TikTok playing, at the bottom of the actual screen, I wish I could, hold on. I'm going to actually show you on my phone. All right. So on the bottom of the screen, if you look right here, so this is a video someone's already playing, they've recorded, this is someone else's video. So if you hit the circle, it'll tell you exactly what song they are using. If you hit the circle, you can actually add to favorite. Can you all see that? You can add it to your favorites. So it's now in your library. So, and this is what makes videos trend, is because once it's added to your favorites and you actually use the sound, it's actually in that person, whoever came up with the sound, it's all in one folder. So once someone clicks on that sound, your video is more apt to be actually being seen by other people other than just people looking for TikToks. It can be actually seen as an example of what someone did and how they use this sound in their video. And which is, people don't think about it. Categorizing these sounds and putting them in your favorites helps you with coming up with other ideas, because there's another business owner who may have done, bath salts versus you're selling something completely different, but you can get ideas on how to actually use that sound with selling your product.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question is from Latarsha also. And Layla, and she says she's got a business TikTok account and can't figure out how to get more music. She feels like the music selections are limited.
So I will say, one of the ways I think to generate more sounds on your TikTok is based off what you like. So when you're scrolling down your TikTok, the way the algorithm works is, depending on what videos you constantly like, is what TikTok figures out what you like in general. So they're gonna push out more sounds. If you keep liking videos with like pop music in the background, it's gonna start to continuously push more pop music. But that's the thing, you have to like the videos in order for more sounds to be generated. And then I think if you searching sounds helps as well. And that's why I think when you upload content and you click the add sound button, if you try the recommendations that they recommend, it's helpful, because they recommend songs based off the time of your video. So if your video is 30 seconds, they will recommend 30-second long songs. And then the last thing would be trending sounds. I think using trending sounds is the easiest way and the best way to generate more sounds, because it gives you a variety of different sounds that you would have probably never thought about.
Okay. Our next question is from Latarsha. Is there an option to set up your account as a business account instead of a personal account? Or do you need a personal account in order to have a business account?
So you can set your account up however you see fit. It follows the same protocol. So My personal TikTok account is set up the same way as our Stingray branding account is set up. It's the same steps. You just, based off your username, you personalize your username, your password, your email address that you'll be logging into. So they're all the same. Everybody TikTok looks exactly the same. It's just how you set it up. So there's no like business setting or personal setting. There is none of that. Now, once you reach a certain amount of likes, there is a thing called Creator Portal. And that gives you access to a lot more tools and tricks, but that's not based off of a business setting or something like that. That's just based off of you actually using the TikTok to the extent. Does that answer your question?
Okay, our next question comes from Amber. What equipment, cameras, and lighting do you recommend for high quality videos?
That is a very good one. So I have 2 cell phones that I use because of the camera quality, and it's just I'm always on one phone. So I would definitely have you don't have to have 2 phones. It definitely don't have to. But I always TikTok recommends you record in their platform on the app in their camera roll, in their camera setting. And I think they definitely push your videos out more if you're recording in TikTok. But I've found that my actual camera on my iPhone is the best way for me to record. Just it's easier, and you can change the settings in your camera to focus a little bit more. So I think that's another important question, because a lot of people don't realize changing your camera settings also changes like your zooming. And I actually learned that on TikTok when recording videos. If you do it in 4K at 60 FPS, if you go into your camera settings, this is on iPhone. I'm not really sure exactly how you do it on Android, but on iPhone, you can change the quality of your camera by just changing your settings. So your camera quality, you can have an iPhone, I don't know, 11, and it looks like the latest iPhone quality, because all you have to do is change the settings in your camera, which is something I've learned to do. It records in slow-mo, it records it clearer. So that's one thing, a piece of equipment is just your personal cell phone. Just record with your phone. Once you get really, really big, maybe you want to use another camera. I personally just use my cell phone. I also have a ring light, and that's for products. If you're typically doing like a product, I would definitely use ring light, because the lighting is important. You want to make sure your clients or your followers can actually see what you're talking about. So using your lighting is important. So using a ring light is very essential. I have a tripod for when I'm outside doing TikToks, or if I'm doing something for a client. For example, we did one for a wine glass company called Chilvino at the Charleston Greek Festival. And you use your tripod to hold the phone in place, so you don't try to hold the phone, or you don't have to figure out where you're going to put the phone at. So you can, use that as your other person. I don't have another person, so I typically use my tripod. My tripod is my other person. And then the last thing I would use, I would recommend is, I have to find the exact name of it. But it holds your phone steady. One second. I have to think about what I just got a new one. It's called, well, it says phone stand. But if you put your phone in it, it's like a selfie stick, but it's for your phone, and it keeps the focus of the phone. So it's like an updated selfie stick if you type it in. That's what I have when I'm like moving around. So it changes the movement, so you don't think the phone doesn't seem shaky. It focuses the camera and the phone, so you may be moving, but it slows down the movement of the actual video, and the quality of while recording it. So those are I think 3 items that I typically use. I do have a microphone that I don't use. But that's typically if you're interviewing someone, you can like use a little external microphone and hook it up to your phone. I do think if you're doing podcast or if you're using your TikTok to talk to other people in that sense, I would definitely use a microphone. I don't really use that one. It's not really essential to me, but I would definitely say a tripod and ring lighting is like essential, because even if you don't have the best quality phone, having that ring light can change the lighting and the photo quality.
Good, good. So our next question is from Talanda, and she asks, do you find it easier to upload from camera roll or to make videos directly from TikTok?
So I'm gonna say both. And the reason why I say both, it depends on what you're doing in the actual video. So there's some videos that are easier because you're in the moment, like, oh, I'm right here in this moment, like, let me go ahead and do that right now. I can record it. If it's like a quick video, like I've recorded in TikTok and just post it right then and there. But if it's a video where it's like a before and after, or it's like you have a really big transition, I recorded my camera roll. I've found that recording in TikTok in that moment makes me push it out faster, versus if I put it in my camera roll, like it may be in my drafts for weeks. Versus recording directly in TikTok means, okay, I'm in the moment, like, let me just go ahead and post it. I feel like you're more apt to post when you're posting from TikTok versus in my camera roll. Like I have videos, my drafts have 350 currently, and that's good because it was at 570 last month. So when you do it in your camera roll, you're just gonna let it sit there, you forget about it, you know, it just adds junk to your camera roll. Versus in TikTok, you're gonna, when you're recording in TikTok, 9 times out of 10, you're ready to post it. So I think recording in TikTok is easier, but recording in your camera roll creates content for later. So I think it just depends on what you're working for, what you're doing in that moment. Like get ready with me's, I think are easier to record in TikTok because you're in that moment, you're already recording, you know, you're ready to post it, versus if there's like a, you know, like a before and after and it's a transition, you're going to probably save pieces in your phone from this month and that last month, and then you upload them all together. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. And Heidi put some information in the chat box about Android phones. Thank you, Heidi. Jackie's got a question, and her question is, when you go live, who do you select as moderator?
When I go live, I don't select a moderator. I'm typically like just myself. I'm typically the moderator, versus we don't go live on our clients' pages. We haven't gone live on them, but you know, it's who do you see fit? I typically am my moderator. Like I am the person, I'm always the person talking back and forth with my followers and people engage in my TikTok. So I'm typically the moderator. I think it depends on what you want to talk about. And if you want a moderator, that's also an option as well, if you want one or not.
Okay. And Heidi's got a question. If using TikTok to better promote your small business, should you or shouldn't you post personal videos occasionally about kids, pets, or just keep it business related? I see some videos in Instagram that do both.
So doing both is definitely the best way to do it now. And it's so crazy because people want to see you outside of just doing your everyday work. Like, you know, it's one thing to be the business owner, but to be a open business owner and you're showing off like, yes, I'm a business owner and I have a family. Like you can do both. So I think being your authentic self and doing both. Now, granted, you do set boundaries. Like you may not want to show them you washing your laundry or something like that. But you know, just a day in a life, you know, you're a business owner, but I also have a family, or, you know, I'm a business owner and I also have a pet. you know, so this is how I take care of my pet as a business owner, you know, maybe show a video of you dropping your dog off to daycare while you're on your way to work. So I feel like you have to find a way to integrate both, because people want to see you being yourself. It's not so much of like, you know, yeah, I'm a business owner of a Fortune 500 company, but people want to know how you got there. Like what motivates you to get up for work every day? How'd you get to this point that you want to be a business owner? So I think being a little bit of both definitely helps. And that's where I was when I started my own personal TikTok, was like, I felt like I needed one simple niche. And some people it works. But I learned that people want to see what else you do. Like, you know, you can be the typical like, oh, this is what I do every day and just stick to that. And it may work for you. But for some people that doesn't work. And most people want to see what else you do. I do know when 2 years ago, I taught a freshman class at a college, and, you know, it's one thing to tell them, oh, I'm a coordinator. You know, they can Google, I'm a coordinator, but they want to see, how'd you become a coordinator? What do you do as a coordinator? Your life outside of coordinating, like, you know, people don't realize there's more to being a business owner or having a full-time job than what we see. So people like to know that stuff beforehand, like, oh, maybe I don't want to be a coordinator anymore. Maybe I don't want to be a business owner, but that helps give a little perspective on what you do and how you do it.